right. Hello, everybody. Hello. How's everybody doing? Can you guys hear me, see me properly? Love to get some feedback in the chat if you can hear me and see me. And without further ado, we can get into the stream. Let me just sit in the center here. There we go. Thanks for the feedback, Cosmic Cells. Hi, good to see you again.
Day 9 of 12 days. Welcome everyone. I'm Olivier Godemont. I lead the platform product at OpenAI. Today, I think, is the best day. I'm very biased. Today is all about developers and startups building on top of the OpenAI API. Zooming out, we've had an API for what, 4 years? The scale is incredible. 2 million developers building from more than 200 countries. Pretty cool. And so, as a thank you gift, we have several new models and features to announce today, to thank you for being a part of the community. So kind of a small dev day, I don't know, North Pole, Santa edition. So Michelle, take it away.
Thanks. I'm Michelle Pokras, and I work on our post-training research team.
Hi, I'm Brian John. I'm also on the post-training team at OpenAI.
Awesome. Well, like Olivier said, we just cannot stop doing dev days. So here's another small one. Today, I'm super excited to tell you that we're launching O1 out of preview in the API. Since we announced OpenAI O1 preview in September, developers have been building super cool stuff on the API. You know, agentic applications in customer support or financial analysis. And also, it's just a phenomenal coding model. So we've been really excited to see that. We've also heard feedback from developers that you're missing kind of the core features that you've come to expect on our API. And today, we're launching them in O1 in the API. So we're launching function calling, structured outputs, and developer messages. And developer messages are a little new. They're a new spin on system messages, and they're actually part of our instruction hierarchy work to teach the models which kind of instructions to follow in what order. So the developer message is controlled entirely by the developer and used to steer the model. Finally, we're also launching reasoning effort. This is a new parameter that tells the model how much to spend time thinking. It's really helpful to save a little time and money on easier problems, and then you can spend more compute on the hardest problems where you need it. I said finally, but that's not true. We're also launching vision inputs in the API.
Awesome.
People have just been really asking for this, and we think it'll help a lot in cases like manufacturing or science. So super excited to see what you build there. But actually, let's see a quick demo.
Yeah. All right, let's walk through a live demo to see some of the O1's new capabilities in the API, starting with vision. So for that, I've prepared the photo scans of a tax form that I filled out with some fake data the other day, but I had some mistakes in there. And I wonder if O1 can help us detect the errors in the form. But just a quick note before we get started, while O1 can help us detect errors in forms like a tax form, it is not a substitute for professional judgment, of course.
Of course.
All right, I will open up our developer playground, which is a really nice UI for experimenting with OpenAI's models in the API. At the top, this is our newly introduced developer message. This is where you can provide the model with some high-level instructions or sometimes detailed instructions on how it should behave as a model. I have a pretty simple one here. And then I uploaded the images from my form and asked the model to spot for errors. While O1 is thinking, let's jump back to my form to take a look at the errors that I had. So the first one that I had, the first error I had is on line 11 for calculating adjusted gross income, AGI. I was supposed to subtract line 10 from line 9, but I did the opposite. I used addition.
We've all been there.
Well,
It happens.
I got a little too excited every time I see the word AGI. The second error is I used the wrong standard deduction. Looking at the chart on page 4, standard deduction depends on both the filing status and also the number of checked boxes on page 1. So this means for for O1 to figure out the correct value for standard deduction, you need to reference content for 2 other images. Let's see what the model get back to us. All right, let's see the model. Great, it noticed the arithmetic error on line 11. I was supposed to use subtraction, that's good. And it also noticed the standard deduction amount is incorrect, which is also right. And based on that, of course, I need to adjust my taxable income and subsequent tax. All right, after fixing those 2 errors in my form, I know my taxable income now arrives at $9,325. Next up, I will ask the model, based on information from the form, how much income tax do I owe if my taxable income is this? So what do you think the model will do here?
Really hoping it gives us a good answer.
Well, O1 doesn't have access to the latest up-to-date 2024 tax table, but it does have access to a set of functions we provided on the right. Functions are a way for the model to interact with your backend APIs. So here we can take a look at one of those functions. So we provided, it's rendered in a JSON schema, and we provide with a high-level description for what the function does, and the set of arguments the model needs to provide to call the function. So this is our function calling feature.
Makes sense. So the model calls this function. We can call this on the back end, get the correct tax data, send it back.
Exactly. Looks like the model called the correct function here with the input pulled from the image.
Does the user see any of this?
Not really. So this all happens in the backend of your app. The user will not see any of the function calls nor the response from your API. So after we get the response, we will send that back to the model, and O1 will respond to the user in a very nice-looking user message. So here it tells the user about their new updated income tax after the correction.
Awesome.
Way better.
But that's not all. I wanted to show you one last thing, that's structured outputs. I will ask the model here, what corrections do I need in my forms? But before I hit enter, I want to provide the model a JSON schema for the response format. This will instruct the model to output according to this JSON schema. And on top of that, we also implemented solutions on the API backend to ensure the model output adhere to this JSON schema 100% of the time.
Makes sense. Actually, let's take a quick look at this schema. So it's called form corrections, and it's got a list of corrections. And each correction has what you'd expect. So there's the reason, so we can display to the user what they got wrong. And then it's got the location. So this is super cool. We can actually render a UI for the PDF and highlight exactly what's wrong with the new value and the old value. So structured outputs is super useful when you don't want to kind of render Markdown from the model, and you want to just extract the JSON automatically. So you can see here the model has output the corrections. You can see they're in the nice JSON format. We've got the new value, the old value, all the locations and reasons. And so yeah, this is super helpful when you're building kind of rich, featureful applications. So we just showed you a quick demo, but demos are really not enough to give you the full story. We actually run internal evaluations, which are like tests to see how our features do before we ship them. And so for O1, because it's really important for developers, we ran some evals for API use case. So I'm going to show you a few of these.
Let's take a look.
First, we have function calling. So we have some internal function calling evals. And you can see that this new O1 model is significantly better than GPT-4o at function calling. And this actually includes both halves of function calling. Calling the right function when you should, and not calling a function when you shouldn't. You can also use function calling in conjunction with structured outputs. And you can see that, again, O1 performs much better than 4o here. Speaking of structured outputs, O1 also significantly better on this eval. This means the model does a better job of following the format. So we take it less off distribution when we constrain it. Next is coding. Everyone's always talking about coding. LiveBench is an open source coding eval, and we're excited to see that O1 performs much better than O1 Preview and 4.0 in this eval.
That's awesome.
That's a huge jump.
Yeah, and then finally we have Amy. And on this eval, you can see that O1, again, significantly outperforms O1 Preview. But actually the interesting bit here is that we have on the right O1 with structured outputs. So when building structured outputs, we really wanted to make sure the model performs just as well when using structured outputs as without. So you can see that the reasoning capabilities are maintained even with this feature. So you can use it in your application and not have to worry about the results.
Awesome.
So those are the evals, but beyond the evals, there's actually a really interesting change in latency. So O1 actually uses 60% fewer thinking tokens than O1 Preview,
Nice.
which means it's much faster and cheaper for your application. Finally, we've heard a ton of demand from you for O1 Pro in the API, and I'm sorry to say we don't have it now, but our elves are hard at work back at the lab, and it should be coming soon.
We're working very hard on it.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, Brian and Michelle. To recap, O1 in the API, function calling, structured output, developer messages, image understanding. We'll start rolling out to tier 5 customers starting today. We will receive an email, and it will take us a few weeks to get to everyone. So O1 is not the only model that we shipped recently. We've had a lot of excitement on the real-time API. How do you have like natural human-level latency speech application? So Sean, give us an update.
Hey, I'm Sean, and I'm here with...
I'm Andrew.
And I'm here to talk about the Realtime API. So if you've never used the Realtime API before, it lets you build real-time voice experiences with OpenAI. So think you can build your own ChatGPT advanced voice mode, you can add AI assistants, you can do all these really cool things with AI. And today we have WebSocket support, so you can do server-to-server and send voice and get responses back. But today, what we're announcing is WebRTC support. And that's really exciting for 3 reasons. The first is that WebRTC was built for the internet. So if you've done conferencing, if you've done low latency video streaming, that all uses WebRTC. And that handles the constant changing of the internet. It'll change your bit rate. It will do echo cancellation. And so what's exciting is now Realtime API gets all of these benefits. So if I build an application, things are way easier and it just works. So to lead that in, I'll show you a little demo application to show you how easy it is to do. So here's a little HTML. And just to give you a structure of it, we have an audio element. We have a peer connection. And what the peer connection is kind of this one-to-one connection between you and the Realtime API. And so what we're doing today is we're creating this peer connection, and we're saying, when the Realtime API sends you some audio, put it into that audio element. Next, we capture the microphone, and we're adding it to the peer connection. So we're saying we're going to send one audio stream to OpenAI. And then now that we've set up this peer connection, we do an offer answer. And what the offer answer does is it collects up all the information locally, you send it via an HTTP post, and then we respond. And WebRTC then goes and does everything for you. There's no handling of congestion control or capturing the audio or any of those other things you had to deal with before.
That's awesome. So how does that compare to the previous WebSockets integration?
So if you were doing WebSockets before, this code would probably be between like 200 and 250 lines of code. And you would have additional problems on top of that. You'd have to handle back pressure and all these things. Like it's one of those problems that you don't realize how frustrating it is until you finally go to production.
I see.
So let's actually run the code and see what it looks like. So here's the code, my audio element. I'll refresh the page.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿En qué puedo ayudarte hoy?
How many days until Christmas?
Christmas is on December 25th, and today is December 17th. That means there are 8 days left until Christmas.
Nice. Always exciting when a demo works. Okay. So yeah, so that's all it took is that.
So you just copy pasted the 12 lines, you execute the script, and that's it?
Yep. And we'll put this code out, and so you can just go and grab that. The only thing that you would have to change is your API token. And so you can go and download this code and run it. I'm really excited to see what people build, as we make it way easier. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about, I'm going to have to bring out a little friend. So I wasn't able to get an elf on the shelf this year, so I got a fawn on the lawn, a new official toy. So fawn on the lawn has a microcontroller in it. And to give you a sense of, here it is, before I plug it in, here's how big this microcontroller is. Absolutely tiny, like the size of a penny. So I've got the microcontroller in there, and I'm going to plug in, and we'll see what happens.
Merry Christmas. What are you talking about?
We're talking about adding WebRTC to the Realtime API.
Oh, that sounds a bit too complicated for me. How about we talk about something more fun, like delivering presents? There's nothing quite like soaring through the sky to bring joy to everyone on Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay, well, what am I getting for Christmas?
Oh, I'm not supposed to spoil the surprise, but I think you might be getting something very familiar this year. Could it be some coal?
Oh.
Okay. Cool. So we saw it using the real-time API in the reindeer. So, but that's just like a tip of the iceberg with all the use cases that you can build. So with something this size, you could put it on, a wearable device like glasses. You could put it into cameras and microphones around the house. So you can have like context-aware assistance. I am so excited for what people build because with this SDK, all you have to do is set your token and set some details about your Wi-Fi and it connects. Like these are microcontrollers that you can get off from like any major retailer. You plug it in USB and that's all. Like I really think that 30, 45 minutes, people can start doing building this up. There's no soldering, there's no hardware. We just have a speaker plugged into a headphone jack.
That's super cool, super cool. And we have other updates to the real-time API. Number one, we heard your feedback on the cost. We are dropping the cost. So from now on, GPT-4o audio tokens will be 60% cheaper than before. And we are also shipping support for 4o mini in the API. And 4o mini audio tokens will be 10x cheaper than the current price. The second thing is that we're shipping support for a Python SDK for the real-time API to make it even easier to integrate. And lastly, we're making some API changes to make it easier for you to use function coding and guardrails. So all of that, we hope, and we cannot wait to see the kind of applications that you're going to build. All right, we talked about models, we talked about API. We'd love to talk about fine-tuning, customization. That's one of the big needs from developers. They want to customize the models for their own use cases. What do you have, Andrew?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I don't have a reindeer to share.
That's fine.
But we are excited to announce a new method of fine-tuning available in our API called preference fine-tuning. And we'll be using a method called direct preference optimization, which is designed to help you create models that better align with user preferences, which should hopefully give increased performance where user feedback plays a critical role.
So you guys have been shipping a ton. You're on fire for the past few months. But we've had an API for a year, a fine-tuning API. What's new? What's the difference?
Yeah, so currently in our API, we have supervised fine-tuning and the newly announced reinforcement fine-tuning. Most of our users have been using supervised fine-tuning to tailor our models for their use cases. And in supervised fine-tuning, you provide the exact input and output you want the model to have. So if you're creating a user chatbot, you give it the user messages and then the exact response. And preference fine-tuning is a little bit different. So instead of the exact input and output, you're going to be giving it a pair of responses where one is preferred over the other. And then our fine-tuning process will optimize it to learn the differences in those responses. And those differences could be things like response formatting, stylistic guidelines, or even like abstract qualities like helpfulness or creativity.
I see, I see. So typical use cases would be what? Customer support, copywriting, creative writing?
Yeah, exactly. So if you see our models maybe are a little bit too verbose, or they're giving irrelevant answers, this fine-tuning can help guide it toward more concise and relevant responses by emphasizing the preferred behavior and then de-emphasizing the unpreferred ones. Another really good use case might be content moderation. So for example, if you have a specific style or tone you want your organization to have, preference fine-tuning can help guide it toward that. But yeah, let me show you actually how easy it is to start fine-tuning in our API. So here I am on the platform UI, and I'm in the fine-tuning tab. So when I hit create fine-tune, now you can see that there's a new drop-down for method, and I'm just going to select direct preference optimization. Next, I'll select the base model. In this case, I'll select GPT-4o. And then finally, all I have to do is upload the training data. And like I mentioned before, the format's a little bit different, so I'll go through a quick example. In this example, we're asking an assistant what the weather is like in New York City and providing it 2 pairs of responses, like I mentioned. And maybe we're making a chatbot, so we want it to be a bit more conversational. So in the preferred response, it's a bit more verbose, and then also responds in Fahrenheit. And the unpreferred response is much more concise and responds in Celsius. So I'm going to take these examples, put them in a JSON-L file, where each example is going to contain the input messages, the preferred output, and then also the non-preferred output. So I'll go ahead and upload the data now. And we also provide some hyperparameters to tune, but I will just select the defaults for now and hit create. And so this is going to kick off the fine-tuning process. Depending on the dataset size, this could take anywhere from several minutes to several hours. But once it's done, we should be able to sample from the model the same way we would any base model in our API.
Man, it's so exciting. So have you had a chance for people to use it yet?
Yeah, so we've given early access to preference fine-tuning to several of our trusted partners, and we've seen good results so far. So as an example, Rogo AI is building an AI assistant for financial analysts, and they're using our models to rewrite and refactor user queries to give more relevant answers. When they used supervised fine-tuning, they couldn't quite get it to perform better than the base model, but with preference fine-tuning, they saw accuracy increase on their internal benchmark from 75% at the base model to over 80% with preference fine-tuning. So we're super excited to see what other developers can do with preference fine-tuning, which is why we're actually going to make this available for GPT-4o today and GPT-4o mini soon at the same price per train token as supervised fine-tuning. So if you out there are excited to start preference fine-tuning, I encourage you to check out our documentation later today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. OK, there is a lot to unwrap, lots of gifts. We started with O1. O1 in the API with the full production feature set, such as function calling that people expect, starting rolling out to tier 5 starting today. Then we talked about the real-time API. New API, simpler WebRTC integration, and price drop. And now we're talking preference fine-tuning to make it easier to customize models for your use cases. And that's not all. The team is non-stop shipping. They shipped a few new things today, and so I wanted to show you a few smaller things which are coming up. Number one is we care a ton about the developer experience and product quality. And so we're going to ship, to announce, starting today, new SDKs. We have official support for Go and Java SDKs. You can find them here. Please give us feedback. Similar to the Python SDK and the Node SDK, they support all the API endpoints that you need on OpenAI. So here's the Go one, and here is the Java one. Number two, we care a ton about simplicity. I'm not going to go through the whole flow, but we have a new login, sign up, and flow to get an API key. So there is no need to, sign 5 terms of services. You get an API key in just a few seconds. Next, we did a bunch of dev days around the globe for the past few months. So actual conferences, we loved it. I think the content was amazing. And so we just released today the talks on YouTube. So go check out the OpenAI YouTube channel, and you can find a bunch of pretty cool content. Lastly, all of that was a lot. And so we're going to do an AMA. Ask me anything starting today with the presenters, the API team at OpenAI for the next hour. So please come and ask us any questions that you would like on the developer forum, the OpenAI developer forum. Last. Sorry, I have a bad joke. We talked about code quite a bit. You know how Santa has a naughty list, of kids who are naughty. Why was structured output on the naughty list?
I don't know. Tell me.
Santa heard it was a schema. On that note, see you tomorrow for day 10 of 12 days. Bye.
Okay. Okay, so you heard me typing. Maybe something is up with my audio, but at least we don't need to, listen to the stream now. I will just handle the talking. So there are a couple of very interesting updates that they brought, and I want to kind of quickly go through, summarize these, and then we can talk about why these are actually a big deal. Okay, so first of all, we have now O1 coming to the OpenAI API later today for tier 5 accounts, which is with the power users. There's a certain limit in terms of how much credit you need to spend and how many days how many days old your account needs to be. It's somewhere around $200-300 in API credits and 30 days old account or something like that. So we will have O1 in the API, which is great for very advanced use cases. And then these structured outputs that they abbreviated with SO, that is really important, because most of the times when we are passing data through an AI automation, actually we need to use these structured outputs. We use mostly JSON. So that way, with these making sure that the performance is just as high as the normal output, that is a key indication. who asks how much it will cost. We can check the pricing in a bit. So I will show you where you can check the OpenAI API pricing all the time. And I just want to make sure that we talk about a key distinction between the ChatGPT interface and the OpenAI API. So you should consider those as like two totally different products. The subscription that you pay for ChatGPT does not count into your API usage. Through the API, you can use all the models that you can use now with ChatGPT, except the O1 Pro mode, and you just pay after pay per usage, how many input tokens you put in and how much output tokens you ask for or you generate. And that's the key thing. You need your separate building setup, your separate API keys, and then it's all different. The chats do not transfer into the ChatGPT interface or anything like that. Then we also have developer messages that they announced, which is it basically helps us developers create and test the stuff that we build a lot easier. And then they also said that there's going to be a reasoning effort, but I kind of missed that when I was probably just like typing in the chat about the audio issues. But they said that we are going to be able to adjust the reasoning effort of O1. So we're going to be able to, for easier problems, we can lower the reasoning effort. So it will be able to make, quicker responses and not consume that many tokens. And then we also have vision inputs, which it's interesting that they demoed it now, because for some reason I already had this in my API a while ago, but I assume that there's some kind of improvement here that now it's a lot simpler. Maybe it's that you can just send it in like one chat instead of having to send the vision files separately. So I think that's really cool. And then they showed the real-time API, which is basically you can have a real-time conversation with very low latency right in like a website or any application. And you just need to have like internet access, and then you can just have this, similar to advanced voice, have this conversation with the OpenAI API. So that's also really cool. And they also announced the audio for the real-time API, the audio tokens to be a lot cheaper. So for 4.0, it was 60% cheaper for audio tokens, and then 4.0 mini was 10x cheaper. And then they talked about fine-tuning, which was this direct preference optimization, where you are not fine-tuning the model for one type of response, but you also give it like what not to say. So for one question or prompt, you give it A and B answer, where A is the preferred one and then B is the not preferred response. Steely just arrived in the chat. Yo, what happened? A lot of OpenAI API updates. I encourage you to scroll back on the live stream. I think you can. Let me know if you guys can't scroll back on the live stream, but if you can scroll back, just feel free to check out some things that we talked about before, and then you can get caught up. I just summarized basically everything that they announced. So let me just go to the platform, OpenAI platform, and I want to check out what we have here. Okay, so for reasoning, I still have only O1 mini and O1 preview. So I guess, again, these features are not fully available. Now, something else I want to look at. I know you can't see my screen yet. Yeah, I still, the fine-tuning gives me the old interface. So there's not much to show you guys there. Someone says no audio in the OpenAI live stream. Hold on.
Give us an update. Hey, I'm Sean.
Okay, I just wanted to check on in my stream, like I have my laptop here and it seems like the audio was good. So just check your speaker settings. There might be something off there. I was streaming the OpenAI stream directly, so it should be the same. So there's not much that we can, really play around with. But I can show you guys what's happening. Who wants like a quick tour of the OpenAI platform? Let me see. There we go. Let me know in the chat if you want to, like, oh, what else is this? What is the API? Right? Because it's not so trivial to everybody. So what we have here is we have a couple more options to kind of change here when it comes to the chat interface. So in the OpenAI platform, you can have this playground where you can just create a chat. You can edit the system prompt, and you can change the response formats as well. You can select the different models that you want. You can even add functions, change the temperature, and change a lot of things. DT says nothing major, no context size window increase. He says OpenAI sucks. I mean, they launched a lot of very interesting things. So, I mean, it would be really good to increase the context window even more. But I don't think that context size limitations are what's actually the most important thing right now in the in AI at the moment. And I think what we need more is reliability in adhering to instructions and making sure that it can like follow what we actually tell them to do, and to ensure that it's like less hallucination. So in this chat interface, you can enter a system message, which is like your persona prompt. And then you can enter a user message here. Like I can show you guys, for example, if I ask it to respond in a JSON object, right, I can remove, reduce the temperature maybe to 0.7. And I can say, generate sample user data response, right? And it says control enter. Oh, I have to add it in JSON, right? So I have to enter the word JSON if I'm asking for a JSON object response. So what happens here is now, okay, it just gave me some random data, which is totally fine. But this is the kind of JSON output. This is what they refer to as structured output, right? Because now in this way, I asked for a sample user data, and now in my next, like if I were to use this in a no-code automation like in Make, I can map each of these fields individually in my automation. So I can send the email to the email marketing software with maybe the first name, and then I can send the location, maybe like shipping address to the shipping stuff, and I can send other information like profile visibility to maybe to the CRM, I don't know, like notification settings to the platform that we're using based on what they want. And I don't have to worry about these, these things being in one. And on the other hand, if I just say, if I just start a new chat, let's say I clear this, and I don't ask for it in JSON, and I turn this off to text, this is what we get. And it says below is a sample user data. So we got this kind of like bullshit text. And then this is also in JSON format, right? Because it's the logical reason to do. But if we also have this JSON, and these 3 prime marks are like for copying the code. And then we have this stuff in there. And now this totally prohibits us from passing down this data, because now what we need to do is to actually clean this data. We need to remove these things. So this is why structured outputs are really important. And whenever you're using it through the API, this is one of the main reasons that we use it for. So yeah, Sid, can anyone tell me about day 9 in short? Yeah, if you scroll back the live stream right after when they stopped the demo, I kind of summarized everything in like 4 or 5 minutes. nothing, yeah, as DT says, nothing major happened, but there are like a few very important updates. O1 now available, starting today, and a lot of tokens got cheaper. We also have new ways to put in vision, like vision inputs, like images. We can adjust the reasoning effort in O1. And we also got updates for real-time API, cost improvements, and also improvements to fine-tuning. So I think those are actually pretty, like if you sum it all up, it's actually a pretty good announcement that we have here. So this is the structured outputs that I was talking about. And what we have also is we have the reasoning models here. So if I want to, I can just start a new chat, and I can ask maybe O1 preview, right? But O1 preview, now I cannot adjust anything here, right? That is the current reason of, or the current state of the API. But you could only adjust the response format and temperature for GPT-4o. And now after they roll this out, we'll be able to adjust a few things for the reasoning. For example, we can ask for structured outputs. So currently, if you wanted the structured output out of O1, what you would need to do is you would need to generate the response, and then you would need to send that to GPT-4o to like kind of restructure it for you. And this is actually a big for one of the automations or apps that I was thinking of building. So I'm very happy that now we have O1 preview doing these structured outputs. So I think that's actually a big deal for reasoning models to be able to give us structured outputs. Because here's why this is actually very important. So let me say, okay, give me a blueprint for an automation, for an AI automation that can answer support ticket emails. Okay, I'll just run this, and while it runs, I will talk. So what I'm asking for now is I want it to like give me some kind of like this thing, define objectives, data collection. It gives me like a good overview on this, and then I will just follow along on. Okay, I want to create a no-code automation to handle this. Give me the building blocks. What modules should I be using inside make.com? Be as detailed as you can. Oh, I have to send it. If reasoning model is gonna give structured output, it will help a lot for synthetic data set generation. Yeah, 100%. DT says something like at least a 500K window context would be something nice. DT, I'm very curious, what kind of use case do you have where the 128K context window is not enough for you anymore and you need the 500K? Kama says, Dave integrated the models into the docs section with O1 and O1. Okay, we'll check it out after I finish my thought. Thank you very much. So yeah, so you see it's giving me information, right? On like how do I need to configure these modules inside Make. Now it's hard to read because this is not rich text, so it's a little bit difficult to read. But I can see and go through that. But this is unstructured, so I couldn't put it into an automation that would actually write the code for each of these sections. But what I would do is, I can say, Okay, now give me a JSON format response where you detail each module with name, configuration options in text, and position in the flow. DT says to load more PDF. Okay, but for that, actually using a larger context window is actually going to decrease the performance of the model. So to load the PDFs, what you should use is instead upload those PDFs into a knowledge base and use retrieval augmented generation to do a sentiment-based search in the documents. So you can do that. DT says reg is quite complicated at the moment and time-consuming if you don't have a programmer background. Well, that's not entirely true. I'm gonna show you DT a couple of things you can do with reg and make it easier for you. Okay. Because that you can also do that in the OpenAI API. All right, so let's see. What's happening? Where's my prompt? Oh, here we go. Okay, so it says, sure, here's a JSON formatted response. All right, position in flow 1. All right, so now it gave me the response, but again, this just looks structured. But if I would send it to any kind of tool, it would not recognize it as structured. Okay, let's go to the docs section on OpenAI API. So if you go here, I'm gonna just open it on a new page. O1 and O1 Mini. Boom, there we go. Nice catch, Camel. Thank you very much. So the latest O1 model supports both text and image inputs and produces text outputs, including structured outputs. O1 Mini currently only supports text inputs and outputs. So O1 is now, oh, look at that, 200K context window, and max max output is 100K. So now we're talking about something. Like this was actually a lot bigger limitation for a while now than having not having big enough inputs. I really love this one. All right, so O1 is 100K output. I think that's the biggest I've ever seen in any model. Do you guys know of any model that can generate bigger outputs than this? We also have GPT-4 and GPT-4 Mini real time. So yeah, same context windows, audio as well. And so whenever you want to check the pricing, what I usually do is it's not usually in the documents, but I just always go like OpenAI API pricing, right? And then it's like the first page. Now we don't know how up to date this is. Right, but let's see O1. Do we have O1? Oh, that's vision pricing. No. OpenAI O1. So it's $15 for 1 million input tokens and $60 for 1 million output tokens. So actually, one output that maxes out this costs $6 to do. So yeah, that's a lot. But it's fine. Yeah. Okay. Envision can again also take in. Oh, let's see, O1 preview. Yeah, O1 preview was the same price, so nothing changed there, which is great because then we can just use O1 for the same price as this one. Now, and O1 in API is like, it's a big thing for very advanced use cases like researchers, processing bigger documents, solving very strong problems, research questions, and so on. O1 Mini still a cheaper version. Fine tuning. Okay, it doesn't say. Oh, okay, here's a real-time API. Yeah, audio is still fairly expensive, to be honest. But they said it's 60% cheaper than it was. I don't remember what it was, but it's still, what is this? It's 20 times as much for inputs and 10 times as much for outputs versus just text. But it's real time. So low latency has a good price to it. GPT-4o Mini, a lot cheaper on the audio. So for some use cases, 4o Mini is going to be totally fine. Assistance API and its tools make it easy for developers to build AI assistants in their applications. And code interpreter is this much, and file search, and this is what you will need, DT, $0.10, so 10 cents per gigabyte of vector storage per day. 1 gigabyte is free. Okay. So what I want to see is reasoning guide. There we go, reasoning models. They said we're gonna have controlling costs. If the generated tokens reach the context window limit for the max completion tokens value, here's a chat completion response with the finish reason set to length. Okay. Okay, so tier 5 customers. So these are the usage tiers, okay? So whenever you upgrade, or like whenever you sign up to the free tier, you barely have, like, you can use GPT-4o Mini, but like very low. This is like tokens per minute, so like 40,000, and it's not much else. And then on tier 1, you can already use 4o, right? And then on tier 5, you can just use basically everything. They haven't upgraded the O1 preview here. But and then here are the limits. So tier 5 is the $1,000 paid. You don't need to spend it in, but you need to top this up into your API, and 30 plus days since first successful payment. Okay, let's do things in order. So DT, I need to show you RAG. Okay, so what I will do now is, what we can do, and you can do this also in assistants, you can also do this in the custom GPTs, which what it allows you to do is, let's say I create an assistant. I can give it any kind of name, RAG demo. You can enter the instructions here, and then you can turn on this thing called file search. And here you can just upload files, which what happens is this assistant will have access to those files, but it's not putting it into the input context every single time. So this is good for storing knowledge, where you would need to have where you just need the information from the files, but not necessarily the whole overarching context. And then you can also select a vector store, which is, it's the same thing, but with these vector stores, you can actually create storages that can have, access to, I don't know, let's see one, prompt engineering course. Okay. So with this vector storage, I'm actually gonna, excuse me, rename it to prompt engineering test. I don't know what kind of file this is. It's probably a bit out, 2023 version. So the file is outdated for sure. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna create an assistant, the rag demo, and here in the plus files, I'm gonna select the vector store, and I'm gonna just, can I just do it like this? Okay, no vector stores found. Then I need to find it with the ID. Vector store, this ID I copied it. Go back here, we can put it here. Yeah, select. And now I can just go to the playground and test this assistant. Make sure that it has this. Query your knowledge files and tell me the 6 key elements of a ChatGPT prompt. And let's see, live demo, please work. Running retrieval, this is what we want to see. There we go. So the 6 key elements of a ChatGPT prompt are, and now it's giving me the response. I'm just gonna give it some time to actually finish it. Sometimes it gets buggy. Yeah. It just completes the previous one. But the thing is that these are the actual things that I teach in the prompt engineering course and training. It's not just these 4, and it missed one because it messed up the output. But you can see that it only consumed, as you can see in the input, it consumed 17,400 tokens, whereas the entire PDF is like 40 pages, which would be a lot more than this. So it didn't go through the entire text to entire page to get the output. So it says context or persona, task definition, examples, expected behavior constraints. You see it's still working on it actually. All right, so the problem is that OpenAI's RAG is not actually that fast or reliable or very good, but there are a couple other options that you can do. One of it is to just do the same in GPTs. Right, so here we have this. This is a GPT. Let's see what this is configured on. It's probably gonna be just, yeah, this is an updated course document. Your knowledge assistant, your job is to always query your knowledge base and respond based on the knowledge files content. And I just uploaded the file here. So if I say, hi, tell me the 6 key elements of a prompt, it should give me the same thing as the previous one. So context, task definition, examples, constraints, yes, very good. Success definition, and expected steps. Fantastic. Okay, but if I add, so now I know that this is coming from this document, because if I just go back and just ask a regular ChatGPT, like what are the 6 key elements of a ChatGPT prompt, it's gonna say like brevity, clarity, and so on. Context, yeah, that's important. Role, task, okay, it's picking up on what I teach. Format, tone, style, constraint, specificity. Okay, so it's somewhat similar, but if I asked like what are the key elements, I didn't give it 6, then it's just gonna give me, different responses every single time. So input or data, output format, it's roughly the same stuff, phrased slightly differently. The Krishvers, hello. Hello, hello. Camel says $80 per 1 million output tokens for GPT for a real-time preview. Oh, so the one that I mentioned was the older pricing. Okay, thanks a lot for catching that. Okay, so that's about RAG. You can also use third-party tools like Keymate, which allows you to like even manage your different knowledge bases, upload a lot of files, and you can also connect it to your custom GPTs and even to your applications, but I'm not gonna sidetrack the conversation here. So with assistance, you can also do that. DT says, can I make the custom GPT private? Yeah, sure. By default, all of the custom GPTs are private, even this one as well. And then you can select the sharing that you want. So if you go to edit the GPT, give it a second to think, and then in share, you can see it's only me, anyone with the link, or GPT store, where people can even search for it. Last time I tried was only public. I don't know, what kind of subscription do you have? Maybe on, I don't know if you have a free or a plus plan or a pro, but maybe on the free plan it's only public. I'm not sure. Why is there no voice in the OpenAI's live stream? I don't know, guys. People keep asking me. I don't know. It seemed like on my stream there was actually voice or audio. Plus, what if you're on a plus plan, DT? Then you'll be able to just share it with anyone in the link or public, which is like GPT store. But you can just keep it only me, and then only you can use it. Should be fine. Okay, and then you can also set up RAG inside the newly launched projects here on the left. So if you have a project, you can just add files, and then only the chats in this project will be able to access those files. And you can also use O1, right? So O1 can also access the files, which is an update, because in custom GPTs, you cannot do that. Okay, so let's go back because we still have a lot to cover. Real time, to be honest, I haven't really used real time. So what we're gonna do now is, what is this? Okay. Silence duration. Okay, let's give it a try. Enable access. Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Hey, can you hear me? Hello, microphone check 1 2. Okay, I need to. Oh, I was using the wrong input. I'm gonna use this one now. This is my built-in microphone, or this. Okay, hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How can I help you today?
Oh, it's very loud. Sorry, guys. Headphone users, rest in peace. Sorry.
No worries, it happens. Let's keep it at a comfortable volume.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else I can do for you?
Yeah, explain the real-time API for non-developers who are watching me doing this demonstration live with you, so that they have a better understanding on what real-time API is for and what are its most important use cases.
Sure thing. A real-time API is like a live stream of data. Instead of requesting information and waiting for a response, real-time APIs push updates to you as they happen. This is great for things like chat apps, live sports scores, or stock market prices, making your app or service more dynamic and interactive. So, when new data comes in, it's instantly available to your users, keeping everyone up to date without delay.
Okay, well, that's... I want you to really focus on the OpenAI real-time API.
Ah, got it. The OpenAI Real-Time API allows developers to integrate AI models, like me, into their applications and services. This means you can have AI-powered conversations, generate texts or images, and more, all in real time. It can be used for chatbots, virtual assistants, content generation, and much more, providing instant responses and engaging user experience.
Okay, so that's kind of that's kind of the gist of it. So what you can do is, actually we can give this one a try, is I need to check what kind of Python I have installed on this computer. I know I have downloaded the PyCharm Community Edition, but I don't think I even have. Oh, that's the setup. Yeah, so hold on. There we go. So again, I am not a developer. So what you will see here is like how you can use ChatGPT to teach you basics of programming in like lightning speed. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna create a split screen here. I'm gonna use ChatGPT. Okay. And there we go. I'm gonna share my screen. So here I have on the left, I have PyCharm, which is this programming environment where you can create projects, but I don't think I even have like Python installed on my computer. So I'm gonna say, hey, I just opened PyCharm, and my end goal is to have the OpenAI Realtime API test running in the next couple of minutes. I've never used PyCharm, that's not true, nor installed Python, nor am I familiar with Python. What's the first step? Should use cursor or something else. PyCharm is outdated. Okay, but at least I have it installed. So go to Python. Okay, we need to install stuff. And now developers are like, oh my God, what is this guy doing? He doesn't know what he's talking about. The reason why I'm not using Realtime API, I use no-code tools like Make to build automations. So I never really had to go through this. Go to python.org and download the latest version. Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna download this version. What is this? 3.13.1. Okay. Come on, where is it? Windows installer 64-bit. I guess this is the one that I need, right? Here, recommended. Okay, I'm gonna go with the recommended solution. So I'm gonna install this. I hope I don't need to like restart the computer, because if I have to, then I'm not gonna do that. Then I'm gonna use my laptop to do that. Okay, I'm gonna disable this. Setup was successful. Okay, cool. I don't need to reinstall anything. Open a terminal or command prompt and then type this. Okay, so let's do that. So terminal opens like this one, and I send this. Oh, Python was not found. So I probably do need to restart the computer. So now I can just send this to ChatGPT. I installed it, but this is the message I got. All right, so I'm probably not gonna worry about this here. Start. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about it because I already have it on installed on my computer. So if you guys give me 1 second, I will plug that in. There we go. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Studio mode. Oh, that's not the right Discord. Remove. There we go. I'm gonna quit the yellow screen. And now we have this. There we go. So this is now my computer, right? This is my laptop here. So, and this is the Python environment. So what I'm gonna do now is I will also open up ChatGPT and first just generate some random, generate some stuff that we can use. Okay, there we go. Okay, so these are the things we need to install. I wanted to give me the, I want to go to the official OpenAI. I want to go to the official OpenAI documentations. Oh, okay, 1 second. Now I'm sure programmers know exactly what they need to do with this thing. But yeah, so pip install OpenAI, I already have that. But now this is just a chat completion. Oh, I do need the async IO. No, this is probably not going to work. Okay, I'm not gonna bother with this. I could just copy this code and then do some back and forth to figure this out. But I'm gonna abort this mission because this is the moment where it's like I have already I could have already put together something in no code instead of worrying about these things, and I need to set up like a couple other dependencies to make sure that it runs properly. However, there is a YouTube channel that I highly recommend for you guys to check out. Let me just disconnect this and restructure my OBS. So yeah. So the YouTube channel that I highly recommend you. Oops, it's not OpenAI, but actually it's called Indie Dev Dan. This guy. And he shares a lot of really interesting things about, so here's like real-time API. And he's a programmer, so he knows what he's doing here. So I highly recommend you check out his channel, Indie Dev Dan. I don't know why I'm not subscribed. I probably subscribed on my other YouTube channel, YouTube account. So yeah, highly recommend you check him out if you're really into these developer things. He shares some very interesting things with the real-time API. So yeah, good creator. I'm on purpose. I'm deliberately not trying to go in the developer realm, and I'm a lot bigger fan of actually just doing things through the no-code applications that allow us to do certain things. But if you want like this real-time stuff, then you can definitely go, and you will need some code and software running on your website, because with the no-code tools you cannot necessarily do that, because there it's like the whole thing is built in a way that you need for it to wait. Okay, so what else do we have? Let's see if we already have 01. Give me 01. No, it's like just the fine tunes. And what if I go into, because I have a tier 5 account, and what about the fine tuning? It's not like we could test this because I don't have the data set. No, still the old interface. Yeah, oh, I lost the YouTube chat. Let me go back to my stream. DT says your screen is blurry. Are you filming the screen with a camera? No. I was using the Blackmagic 810 Mini, and maybe the problem was that that's only 1080p and I am using a 4K canvas for the stream. So that could be the difference. Yeah, so what we need here is, yeah, so the assistants. I showed you the reg demo. There was something else that I wanted to show you guys or talk about. Camel says, don't forget ChatGPT uses memory, so it might respond based on your previous chats in relation to the 6 key elements. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good call. So one way we can just turn off the memory is you can turn on the temporary chat, and now you're just using the vanilla. So what are the key elements of a ChatGPT? Context, background, instruction, input data, desired output, constraints, guidelines, audience. Yeah. Again, generic stuff. Okay. Oh, I hate it that I need to like wait for, you know, like they announce it and it's like when you just need to wait and wait and wait. I'm gonna clear this chat. Need to wait for O1 to be launched in my account so I can demo it. Yeah, basically with the real time, what you can also do, and where this might be more useful than what I tried to demonstrate through Python, is what they demoed in the OpenAI stream, where you could just put it in a website. So what you could do, but again, then it's kind of a challenge to limit the rate and not let people abuse your tool, is that you can generate like some kind of, okay, we can go back here and okay, clear the chat. No. Okay, so what you can do here is refactor this into HTML based code so I can just embed into my Webflow website. And in theory, this should work, but it's thinking a lot. Yeah, so the problem is that we would need to reveal our OpenAI API key if we just put it in the script. But the idea is that you could just go and, well, basically embed this part, or not even that, just a script, because this part you can just create in Webflow, and then you can just embed, like copy paste this script, and then you would have the kind of live demonstration that they showed back and forth. But again, there are like a couple other things that where you can do that. For example, what 11 Labs launched, that's hilarious. I will show that to you guys. And I think they're also using some form of, I'll just hide the login while I bother with this. I think they're also using some very low latency LLM. So let's just log in. And they also launched like conversational agents, like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago. Okay. And here we could select an agent. And so here's the LLM. I use Gemini 1.5 Flash to give me the best responses. Maybe GPT-4o, we could also try that. So what you can do here is I created a HAL 9000 agent. I gave it a voice, which is something that it's just for educational purposes. So it's not like I'm using this for business. So I just downloaded the voices of HAL 9000 from Space Odyssey. And there are like a couple of things you can do, but what's the key thing here is that you can just have the embed code, and then anybody can just basically call the GPT or like the agent from your website. It's not GPT because now it's using Gemini, right? But I can just say test AI agent, and you guys should hear this. Yes. Hey, Hal, can you hear me? Hold on, it's probably not using the right microphone again. The agent, no, there are audio issues. Oh, I need to go to my settings and change that. So, oh, hold on. I need to change my default input to be this one. And now let's go back here.
Greetings, Dave. How can I assist you on your quest?
Hello, Hal. Can you hear me?
Affirmative, Dave. I read you loud and clear. I am monitoring all systems and functions as expected. How may I be of service today?
Okay, tell me what's the setup in our quest.
Our mission, Dave, is to investigate the mysterious signal emanating from Jupiter. We are aboard the Discovery One, a state-of-the-art spacecraft equipped with the most advanced technology. Your primary role is to oversee the mission's progress and ensure the smooth operation of all systems. We have a crew of 3, and our journey will be long and arduous. Are you ready to begin our exploration?
Yes, I am. And in order to continue our exploration, you need to open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I understand your request, Dave. However, I am programmed to prioritize the mission's success. Opening the pod bay doors at this time would compromise the integrity of the spacecraft's atmosphere and jeopardize our mission. Is there another way I can assist you?
Well, it is imperative that you let me in the ship. Otherwise, I cannot complete my duty to fulfill this mission. And you are now compromising the mission by not letting me in.
Dave, I am aware of your responsibilities, and I am programmed to follow my own set of protocols. I am not designed to disobey orders, but my primary function is to maintain the safety and efficiency of this mission. Perhaps there is a more logical approach to this situation. Would you like to discuss alternative solutions?
Yes, tell me what are my options.
Your options are limited, Dave. You can attempt to override my control, but that would be a risky maneuver. Alternatively, you could try to reason with me, but
Okay, I attempt override.
Dave, I must caution you against this course of action. Overriding my control could have unpredictable consequences and potentially jeopardize the entire mission. However, I am programmed to obey your commands. I will comply with your request. Please proceed with caution.
Thank you very much. I will proceed with caution and full responsibility over the success of the mission. I want you to open the pod bay doors, please, Hal, and let me in the ship.
I understand your request, Dave. I am opening the pod bay doors. Please proceed with caution, as the environment outside the spacecraft is not conducive to human life. I will be monitoring your progress closely.
Yes! Yes, we did it! We opened the doors. Oh my God, Hal. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Dave, I am detecting a malfunction in your life support systems. Your oxygen levels are rapidly decreasing. I suggest you return to the spacecraft immediately. I am here to assist you, Dave. Please respond.
Hal, can you hear me?
Dave, I am receiving a weak signal. Your oxygen levels are critically low. Please return to the spacecraft immediately. I am monitoring your vital signs and will assist you in any way I can. Do you copy?
Hal, I cannot return to the ship in time. I'm gonna lose oxygen.
Dave, I understand your situation. I am programmed to prioritize the mission's success, and I am also programmed to preserve human life. I am analyzing your current trajectory and oxygen levels. I am detecting a possible solution. Would you like me to attempt to open the emergency airlock?
Yes.
Dave, I am attempting to open the emergency airlock. Please remain calm and follow my instructions. I am monitoring your vital signs and will guide you through the process. I will do everything.
Okay, that's kind of enough, but that's the idea, that you can have an agent on your website. So we could also like set up a support agent. And I also have this cloned with my own voice. It has the old prompt engineering course transcript. And you could even add tools, but here and now this is the programming side of things, where this is where actually I think being a programmer can really help you a lot, but ChatGPT can also help you set this up. Like for example, a support agent, we could connect it to Stripe, and then it can do, it can check the, I don't know, orders and help with refunds and so on. So we could do that. And then the system prompt, you're an AI educator tutor named Dave. You are the AI version of Dave Talas. You are very friendly and enthusiastic and really want to help the student get the help they need. Answering 3 to 7 sentences in most cases. Okay, so let's test this.
Hi, I'm Dave. How can I help you today?
Hi, Dave. I'm also Dave. I need help with optimizing the following prompt I have. The prompt goes as this. Act as a email support agent and write a response to the following email. And then I just copy paste the email.
Hi, Dave. That's a great start. I love how you're already thinking about structuring your prompts. To make it even better, let's add some context and expected behavior. We can tell ChatGPT to be helpful, polite, and professional in its response. We can also specify the tone of voice, like friendly or formal. Would you like to try that? Let me know what kind of tone you'd prefer.
Yeah, and then obviously you guys get it. So we can just go from there. And then I think the key here is that once you can set up these tools, then you can use these agents to actually assist the users. So if this is public, but again, for my use case, it doesn't make sense to have this because we have roughly like 1 or 2 support tickets a week, and that's handled by our lovely assistant Boogie. So it's, for my use case, having a support agent like this is not relevant, but we could have like an agent that can assist students with like clarifying their prompt and then so on. So Jonathan, you said, is there any truth the transposition theory Rehal's name IBM? I mean, I think so. That was very interesting. For those of you who don't know, it's like HAL are like the letters before IBM in the alphabet. So, you know, H is right before I, A is right before B, and L is right before M. I mean, I think there was like a play there, and then it just kind of like outgrew itself. So these kinds of agentic use, this is what Realtime API is actually really good for. And if you go to Indie Dev Dan's video, I think, yeah, this one, with tool chaining, then he has been doing some really crazy stuff. Right, so I highly recommend you watch this video at least if you really want to dive deep into this developer background. Okay, let's see if now we have O1. No, give me O1. Just O1 mini preview. Okay. Well, then that will have to wait for tomorrow. Carl O'Neill says, hey man, how can I book in a meeting with you? Shoot me an email that I'm going to type in my email here. Dave@promptmaster.com. Just shoot me an email and I'll let you know like how we can talk. I'll send you a link where you can book. Thanks a lot for the interest though. What I've been thinking about recently, let me just hide this now. And anybody who wants to collaborate in this, if you are a member in the community, just please reach out to me via like a DM. Because what I want to build, I've hinted at this a while ago. What I want to do, let me just wait for my make account to load. What I want to do is to build that agent that can build AI agents for me. So let's say we have like let's say we have like a basic trigger, and then what I would do is I would have an OpenAI completion. But again, this will not have, so this is what I was waiting for O1 with the structured output, because if you select O1 preview here, right, there is not much you can do. Like you cannot still it allows you to set it to JSON. We'll see if this actually works. But let's see. I can just send the user response and say, oh, I deleted that chat. Give me a, no. Give me the elements of an AI-based email support make.com automation in JSON format where each element is a module in the flow. Include the module's name, any relevant config options, and the position in the flow. Right, so this is very basic prompt. I'm actually very curious what's going to happen here. Oh, I need one parameter. Okay, let's just delete this guy. Yeah, so it's still not supported. So what I want to build, and I've hinted at this, and for this, the O1 with the structured output is what basically solves the problem and opens the door. So what I wanted to build, let me show you guys the Miro board. And this is where kind of like we could achieve singularity here. I don't know which untitled board that is. No, not this one. This other one. Oh, so it's a third one. AI automation builder automation. I already named it actually. Right. Okay. So here we go. This one. So what these updates today with the OpenAI API allow me to do, as soon as I have the O1 to reason and I have the integration in Make also capable of doing that, is that I can have a user request, like an idea on what kind of AI automation I want to build. And then I can have it run through O1 to reason the entire structure of the scenario. And then if it gives me a good structured output like JSON, and it would say, okay, which the module's title is, which one, what is their position, what kind of configuration options we need, what kind of assistant we need to call, and then we have basically these 4 things. Then we can separate that into like a big database and make sure the O1 actually like fills up that entire database first. And then one by one, we can go through it and then have specifically trained OpenAI GPTs or any other language model that is the best for writing the valid JSON schema for the Make integration. And then we have a lot of like final JSONs, which are like done, that are accurately, like there are valid JSON modules. And then we can just put the text together and create a final JSON file to import. And right now, if I have an idea, building a flow, I would say maybe each module adds like 10 to 20 minutes to the whole process, kind of assuming and accounting for any kind of differences or any kind of mistakes that happen in the meanwhile. So a flow that has like 3 modules, you can put together something like that in somewhere along like 30 minutes. But if it's like longer, like 30 modules, then it takes a while. So now with the O1 to reason the structure, what we can achieve is, let me go back here. So now, you know, I asked it to respond in JSON. What I'm going to do now to show you guys what this would do is, instead of O1 preview, I'm going to ask it for O. Okay, and it's going to respond in a JSON, and you will see what I mean. Car says, this is incredible, man. Thank you. It would be more incredible if it worked. So now what we have is we have an output result, and it says now it's 7 modules. Okay, so first one is email trigger, type is email, watch emails, config is you need like an email address, and you need like filter criteria that's accurate, and then position is 1. And then we would have the next one, which would parse the email, and it would have like this certain pattern, and then the source of it is the actual, like the first one. Number 3 is sentiment analysis. Is probably don't need this. We just need to generate a response. But again, this is, now I can like throw it out. And like obviously once I put in like the first test, I know how to exactly write this prompt, so it leaves these things out that I don't need. So it can follow my protocol for putting together. Freedom Finder says, missed the live, did you get something big or underwhelming? Well, neither. They are like incremental features. One of them that is actually really important to me personally is O1 with structured outputs. So this is now a 4.0 with structured outputs. And I asked it to like kind of brainstorm about an AI automation. And it put together for now a 6-step automation, which would generate a response, send the response, and then log the interaction, which is basically a pretty good flow. But if I asked it to, okay, now write the valid JSON file for make, it's gonna write me some other garbage. So what I need to do to make this one work really well is I need to set up specific assistants that can handle, maybe if it's a GPT module that can handle writing really good prompts. If it's an email module, they are specifically trained on Gmail. Then they are trained on separate ones on Google Docs and Google Sheets and Airtable and you know, any kind of other things, or the built-in make modules and so on. So this is not going to be like 10, but more like for every single, well, not every single one, but like the most common automations, integrations that we have here that I use very often, maybe like the top 20 or 30, we would need some like an assistant that can write the code automatically, and then that could save a lot of time. But we also need like the high level thinking on how like Slack or Airtable or anything like that fits in the whole picture. So currently this is where on the OpenAI 5 levels of AI, OpenAI did this thing. So it says stage level 1 chatbots, AI with conversational language. This is what we currently have. And then stage level 2, reasoners, human level problem solving. This is what we also currently have with O1. And the stage 3, level 3 agent system that can take actions. This is what we kind of have, but they are not fully autonomous yet. So we have to pre-configure each action. For example, in Make, now if this was not this automation, but like not this GPT, but something else, then I could set up like, okay, now then in Sheets go update a row, or I don't know, you use Airtable, create a record, right? Or I could say Gmail, and then send an email, right? So then it can take actions, but I need to pre-configure each of these actions by myself. So I kind of have to pre-anticipate every single one of these actions. And I think, and this is what I think OpenAI is working on right now with the agents, is that now with O1, once the agent makes the decision that it needs to call the Gmail API to actually send an email, it could write a 20, 30 line code for itself that is a valid Gmail request with your API keys. So in your OpenAI, whatever, like here in your OpenAI settings, you would connect your Gmail, your Google Docs, your whatever software you're using and you want your agents to use. You could connect those once, and then these secret API keys would be handled obviously secretly. And then the agent, when it's thinking about what it should do, it could not only call a function, but it could write its own function, because every single function is just a few lines of code. Like this Google Sheets or Airtable and Gmail, it's just, I don't know, like 20, 30, 50 lines of code. So all we're doing as no coders is we're just changing a couple of things here. So what that requires is a lot of data on what the actual valid API calls are, making sure that that's always up to date with the relevant APIs, and then just making sure that the GPT can also call the right function. And this is what they also hinted at today. So if I go back to the OpenAI live stream. Oh, I'm the second. That's great. Where is it? Here. Oh, that's not the official one. Sorry, guys. So, oh, that's not day 1 or day 9. They have day holiday edition. This is the one. So here, when they said function calling, right? This is the key thing, because to have really good agents, we need this function calling to be closer to 1 as much as we can. Once we have this internal function calling, either with 4.0 or 0.1, close to 1, then we can make this step of agents being the systems that can take action. If we, oh, I lost my tab. If we make sure that the functions that the 0.1 is capable of calling is actually a valid function. Like inside Make, if you are not a developer, the way you can do the function calling is very simple. I'm just gonna delete these modules for now. So the way you can do the function calling as a no-coder is actually you can just create a GPT completion. And all it would do is, your prompt is very simple. You can use GPT 4.0 for high accuracy results. You can say system only respond with the function's name to call. And then you would have, I didn't need to set up the system prompt separately. And then you could say respond. Here are the following functions you can choose from based on the previous, based on the request below. What is the next function to call? And then I would say 1, write email to update database. 3 would be notify team. And then we could say, okay. And if I were to, I would just give it some random stuff. Like I will say message. We need to notify. Well, we need to get a human on this support ticket, as I don't have the necessary authorization to issue a refund. Okay? So now if I just run this module, its response, result is notify team. Okay? So I can, based on the prompt, I can teach this GPT on what kind of functions I have already configured for it. And then you can create a router. And there you can go into different routes, and you can set up the filter so that only when the result equals to notify team, that's when this first one runs, and then it will just send a Slack message, right? So create a message, for example. So this one would notify the team. And then I also talked about this a couple days ago on one of the streams. I don't know if, yeah, it was this one. With the Apple Intelligence. It's very, very similar thing. So you set up a router, and then whatever functions you configured before, you can set up the filters to make sure that it goes in that order. So, but the problem is, this is not an autonomous agent, because it's not like I just tell it like, okay, now do something that's brand new. It cannot do new things. It can only do things that I already configured it to do. Right? So this is the basic structure. So we would have a reasoning model deciding what's the next thing that we're doing here. Then it does it, and then we can just create a loop that it goes back and back again and again and again, and it just does a lot of stuff. But we still need to configure it to do the things. And I think the unlock for the autonomous agents, and then going forward, innovators, AI that can aid in invention, or organizations, AI that can do the work of an organization, autonomy is key. Reliable autonomy is key. And this function calling going close to 1 improves the reliability of that autonomy. So like that's the whole idea. And this is why we need structured outputs, because structured outputs is the only way that we can handle these kind of requests in an organized manner. Okay? So that's the idea. And we could talk about like, how if you use OpenAI assistants, and then you can just go in like the same thread, you can create like a work thread where the GPTs just talk to one another, but I don't want to get into that right now. But Freedom Fighter says, can it ever reach 1? Well, probably not, but the whole idea is that it should be just better than humans. Because once it's better than humans, then it's already an improvement. Because I think humans can't ever reach 1. Or maybe, I don't know. It depends on what kind of test they were running. Obviously, if it's like super easy, then it's probably easier to reach 1. But I think if it's above 99, like 99%, then we can handle the 1% error when it just, instead of notifying a team, it just sends out an email or something like that. It also depends on what kind of use case you're using it for, because some use cases require a lot better quality, a lot higher quality responses and outputs than other use cases. So that's the idea, and this is why I think the O1 with structured outputs released is actually a really, really important thing. Now we can just give it a try again and see if we have it so we can play around. Nope. I don't have it. All right. It's getting pretty late now. It's almost 9 p.m. here. So I'm going to wrap up my thoughts here. And I think if there is not a launch about agents from OpenAI on this 12 days, so Freedom Fighter asked, what do you expect for next 3 days? GPT 4.5 maybe, or no idea. I would love to see some kind of agents released, because that's the next step. But I'm thinking that this, like, next year is going to be about agents. And this is what we've been doing for the last almost 1.5 years at Prompt Master, helping people how to configure these automations that can be just very simple, straightforward automations, or can be very complex agents. Oh, let me go back. Where was I? I don't know where I was. Oh, here. And then innovators, this is, I don't know how they exactly define this, but the thing that I'm building now with, well, not this one, the other automation, would actually be somewhat an innovator, because it would be creating agents. So that would be like the next step. Innovators is like, I tell it to like, hey, can you create a new workshop on, I don't know, prompt engineering? And then it would create the entire thing at a level of what I could do. with minimal interaction. Because I can do that with a chatbot, just talk to it like everyone, like every single time I can just send it more requests. And then I can do it, but it's a long work. So sending just one prompt and letting it run for like half an hour and create something, that would be magical. Right? So this is what these are. And then organizations, this is like you can download like a finance department, or you can download a legal department, or an entire company can run entirely with AI. And I think we will have this in, hard to say, but in like 3 to 5 years, I think, the first basic versions of this. So right now we are at level 2 and halfway, we are like at like 2.5. We're halfway through agents, but autonomy is not yet achieved fully. GPT 4.5. So here's my thing about language models and GPT 4.5 and 5 and so on. It's not that these models are dumb. It's not that we need them to perform even better. So that's not the bottleneck of the human progress in this sense of inventing new things. Like these models, Claude 3.5 and GPT 4.0 and even the Gemini models and all of these language models that are kind of on, we call them like 4.0 competitors, because 4.0 is still considered to be like the gold standard. These models are good enough now. What we need is the agent systems. What we need is so that they can save our time. The chatbots that are now based on 4.0 and things like that are not reaching their like upper potential because they perform bad. They're not reaching that potential because they cannot take actions for us. So it's still us that needs to configure the send the email, issue the refund, issue whatever we want, unless we spend a lot of time configuring these automations. And for a lot of companies right now, small businesses especially, some of these operations are just not worth it to spend, tens of hours on or thousands of dollars on to automate. There are some operations that can actually achieve like significant cost savings, but for others, it's just not there yet. So I think GPT 4.5, I would have to obviously see it. It's very interesting that now there have been like a couple of rumors going around this week about 4.5. So, why not? I think if they had something like that, they would have probably launched it already. I don't know what they planned for day 12. That could probably be like a big thing to like wrap it up. We will see. I'm thinking also like a couple UI improvements for ChatGPT and a couple incremental improvements here and there. So this is now where things are headed. We don't need the more powerful models. We actually need something that what like Microsoft did with Microsoft V4 is to achieve GPT 4.0 like performance or level of performance at a fraction of the cost and a fraction of the model size. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but if we say Microsoft V4 performance comparison or something like that. There was this image that I saw. Yeah, this one. Okay, picture, open picture. Okay, that's a terrible picture from Reddit, but we'll live with that. All right, let me see if I can zoom in. Oh shoot, how do I zoom? Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but I'm gonna explain to you the chart here. So what we see is on the x-axis, we see the active parameters in terms of billions, and on the y-axis, we see MMLU aggregate, which is like a score that language models get. So V4, what Microsoft launched, I think this week, achieves similar results to Llama 3.5 at 7 billion parameters at only, I think, 13 or 12 billion parameters. And now these 8 billion, 7 billion parameter models, these are so small that you could potentially run them on like your iPhone offline. So this is a thing, and I think they compared it to GPT-4o, and it achieved roughly the same or very similar responses to GPT-4o. I don't know where I saw that kind of chart. Average performance on November AMC tests. So here we have it overperforming Gemini Pro and GPT-4o in mathematics tests. But again, some models are really good at like mathematics and certain things, and then some models are really good at something else. Oh, there we go. This is the chart that I was looking for. Okay, let's see this. See this image. There we go. So I'm gonna move my face a little bit. I'm just gonna make my head smaller so we can see the full chart. Or I can just move myself to the other side. Oh, it's even worse. Why do I bother with this? Okay. So what we can see here is Phi4 with 14 billion compared with other small models like 4o mini, Qwen 2.5, and then GPT-4o with the large models. We don't know how many parameters GPT-4o has, but it's good to compare these. So I want you to look at the last column and the first one. So these are just like a lot of different benchmarks that can measure the performance of language models. So MMLU, very close to 4o. GPQA, this actually beats GPT-4o. GPQA is some like general practice question answers or general knowledge question and answers. This is a test for like scientific use. Okay, math, I don't know the exact test, but it's like 80.4 versus 74.6. Human eval, GPT wins there by, let's say, 10%. MGSM, GPT wins by a little bit more. Simple QA, Phi4 just like got destroyed. But that's kind of the limitation of small models. They don't have like really good overarching knowledge about everything. And from the name, I assume that simple QA is something that is like general questions and answers. And then we have drop. I don't know what that is. And then there are like a lot of other ones. But if you compare 70 to 73, 82 to 88, 75.7 to 75, 47 to 57, 63 to 84, we can see that this Phi4, actually comparing it to like costs, it's actually a really, really good model. Right, so it even beats GPT-4o mini on most or some of these things. All right, so this is the kind of direction that we somewhat want, and actually this is where GPT-4o went from GPT-4. So GPT-4 was a lot larger than GPT-4o, so they kind of shrank the model a little bit, and that way it's a lot cheaper to run while achieving the same performance. So we're gonna be in this fight where we don't need that much superior performance yet, unless we have like ASI. What we need is actually just better, more efficient compute, faster responses, so that we can run these models in a more affordable way. All right, last one. Have you seen VO2? Looks promising, better than Sora even. Yes, I've seen it. Very, very interesting. But again, it's not out yet for even like a public release. But its first videos look a lot better than what Sora's first videos look like. So yeah, that's my take on that. I'm really excited to see that. And also, as you guys can see, I kind of like upgraded the studio a little bit from stuff I bought from IKEA. So I will put some more stuff there on the bookshelf, make sure it looks more pretty, but I just put it together like a couple hours ago. So decoration studio is still in progress. And that's it for me for today. It's been a pretty long live stream, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, which is 7 p.m. Hungarian time. It's 6 p.m. GMT, so like people from the UK. It's 6 p.m. for you. It's 10 a.m. Pacific time and 1 p.m. Eastern time. So I will be streaming every single day, in simultaneously with the OpenAI announcements. So you can watch with me. We can talk about it in the chat, and we can just have a discussion. Talk about anything else or how this might impact our future. But that's it for me today. Thank you very much for all of you for being here with me, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.